Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Lauren and on this channel we talk about books, and today's video I'm really excited. We are doing our part 2 of our favorites and fails. This is going to be like the favorites edition of our favorites and fails. If you have not watched part 1, you don't have to watch that video first to watch this video, but do check that video out. Be sure to watch it. I talk about all the fails that I have read so far this year. I don't think this intro needs to be super long because we are just continuing from the first part of our favorites and fails, so we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it. And if you haven't already, do subscribe. My first 5-star read of 2025, well, it wasn't my first 5-star read, it's just the first book we're going to talk about here together, you and I, today. So the first book I'm going to talk about is Rebel Witch. Oh my gosh, by Kristin Ciccarelli. This book was just everything I wanted it to be, I needed it to be, I expected it to be. I talked about this book in my mid-year wrap-up, or not wrap-up, my mid-year freak-out review 2025, whatever that tag video is, like the mid-year freak-out. I'll have it linked down below. So I'm not going to go too in-depth talking about this book, because if you watch that video, then you will have seen my thoughts and feelings about this book, and I don't want to be repetitive, but this book just did everything for me. I still am so sad that this story is over, that, you know, I think that the duology was wrapped up beautifully, but it still hurts my heart that Rune and Gideon's story is over, because I just loved it so much. So yeah, 5-star read for me, hands down. Another book that I have talked about extensively here on my channel in the past couple of videos, so if you're sick of hearing about this book, I apologize, but it is a 5-star read for me, and that is The Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I thought this book was so beautiful. I was never bored. I was always intrigued. I always wanted to know what was going to happen next. I was totally invested in all of our characters, both main characters and side characters. I loved the politics. I loved the different motives and different agendas that all of our characters had. I wanted to know what was going to happen next with everybody, no matter how big or small their role in the story was. I was just intrigued and invested the entire time. There was never a lull. It was a page turner for me. If you have not read this book, I highly recommend it. As of now, there is no spice in this book. I think that we have evolving relationships happening. The main focus of this book is the fantastical elements, the politics, almost kind of like religious intrigue, but not quite. Like one of our characters, our female main character, she is kind of like a part of another society within a greater society, and it's just really interesting. And I love a lot of books, but I also read a lot of books, and you know, like those moments in books where you're kind of like, okay, like when does it pick back up? Like I'm like, what's the point of this passage? What's the point of this chapter? That feeling never happens in this book, at least not for me. I was in it the entire time. And I mean, this book, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, whatever your highest ranking is, this book takes the cake. It was so good. Another book I have given 5 stars. I don't have the physical copy. I listened to it on Audible, but I do want to add the physical copy to my library because I've seen the book in store, and it is a gorgeous physical copy, and that is A Forbidden Alchemy. If you have Audible and you have the chance to listen to this book on Audible, I 10 out of 10 recommend. I loved this story. I loved the plot. I loved our characters. Our male and female main characters were just delicious and diabolical and plotting and scheming and survival and just all of the things. It was so, so good. But what made the Audible really, really stand out to me is that the characters had, forgive me, I could be presenting American ignorance here, but in my opinion, the Audible characters, the voice actors, they had what I would call a Scottish accent. It definitely was not British. Well, I can't say definitely. I don't know. But in my opinion, it was not what I would think of as a British accent. But it kind of leaned more towards like the Scottish Irish accent. And not that I have heard very many Scottish or Irish accents, but from the Irish people that I have heard, it didn't really sound Irish. So because of that, I'm going to say that they were putting on a Scottish accent. Either way, whatever the accent was, it totally added to the vibe. It was just engrossing and I loved every minute of it. Whenever the ending credits came on for this book, I think I was sweeping or something. Whatever, I was doing a household chore of some sort. I literally stopped what I was doing and out loud said, no, because I was so just like disappointed and just my heart sank that it was over. Like, I still hear these characters' voices in my head to this day, and I finished the book like a week and a half or so ago, and I still hear Patrick's voice, which is our male main character. I still hear his voice in my head. And yeah, this book was so great that even though I have it on Audible, I must get the physical copy to put on my shelves because A, the book is beautiful, and B, this book has left a lasting impression on my heart. I still think about these characters. I think about the voice actors who did these characters and how their voices still play in my head. It was just a stunningly beautiful book. Another book that I also gave 5 stars that I listened to on Audible, that I do own the physical copy for, but it is downstairs in a book stack that I just am not going to go down and get. So I will put the picture right here for you guys, but it is The Serpent and the Wolf. This book also had accented voice actors, and that just does something for me. I guess I think that like it gets a higher rating just for having voice actors with like a British or some kind of accent. I'm just like, yes, already love it. But aside from the voice actors having accents, this book was also really, really beautiful. We have a really strong female main character. She's kind of put into an arranged marriage that she is very not agreeable to, and she lets the man know that she's not agreeable to this arranged marriage, and he is very understanding and respectful towards that. He's just like, just pretend, like, don't embarrass me. And she's kind of like, okay, but what's in it for me, you know? And the person who threw her into this arranged marriage is her brother, and he is a really terrible person, and the story just kind of evolves from there, and it is a beautiful story. This is a series. I don't think the second book has came out yet. If it has, I am unaware of it. and I need to become aware of it because I definitely want to read or listen to the second installment of this series, because again, this was a 5-star read for me. Or listen, whatever, you know what I mean. It was a really, really great book. A book that almost was, and honestly should have been, a 5-star read for me was The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I loved this book. I thought that this book was beautiful. I loved our female main character. I loved our male main character. I loved our side main character, Bartholomew. I talked about this book on my mid-year freak out and how Bartholomew is my current favorite character of 2025. I loved so many things about this book: the politics, the religion, the character development, the unraveling of the religious and political scheme that is within this book. I loved it. What bumped this book down from a 5-star to my final rating of 4.75 is the ending. If you've read this book, you know how it ended between the king and our female main character. I just don't love that particular trope. I don't love that dynamic or that setup. Obviously, I know that it's going to evolve in book 2, and we will see what Rachel, the author, does with this setup. A very similar setup to Lauren Roberts' Powerless series is what Rachel Gillig has done with Sybil and the Young King. I don't love it. Whenever I read I think it happened in the last chapter, so whenever I read that unfold, I literally, my heart sank. I rolled my eyes. I was like, really? We're doing that? That's where we're going with this? Like, I was kind of disappointed, but that's just the ending. That was just a trope that was introduced. It does not negate the fact that this entire book, I loved the story, I loved the intricacies, I loved the magic system, I loved the religious interweavings, the magical interweavings of this book. I loved. So I still love this book. Didn't love the ending. Don't love what's happening between Sybil and the king. Just that is a small disappointment, but 4.75. Another book that I have rated at 4.75 stars, which I need to go back and look at my notes because I don't know why this wasn't a 5-star read for me whenever I first finished the book. I don't know what made me rank it lower than 5 stars, but I do have House of Blight sitting in the 4.75 star rating realm. I loved this book. I have recommended this book to so many people. Whenever I was in Colorado Springs, I bought this for a family member. Like, at Poor Richards, I have a video, like an independent bookstore shopping. I didn't mention this book because I didn't buy it for me. I bought it for my family member. But whenever I was at Poor Richards in Colorado Springs, I bought this book there for a family member, and I ranted and raved about it to her. I was like, you're gonna love this book, it's so good. I kind of gave her like a brief synopsis, and I was like, the ending is so good, you're gonna be like, so why I have this listed as 4.75 and not a full 5 star, I do not recall. Usually whenever I read, I take notes about like my thoughts, feelings, you know, whatever. So I'm gonna have to go back and look at why I didn't rate it 5 stars. Maybe there were certain parts of the books where I felt like there was a lull, where I felt bored, and so maybe that's why. But I feel like, I don't know, if you were to ask me right now today, I'd be like, this is a 5-star read. Like, this book was great. It was phenomenal. But that's just me, like, retrospective. Maybe whenever I was actually in the book, that wasn't how I was feeling. I obviously felt like it was a high ranked video, but there must have been something that was making me feel like it wasn't quite a 5 star. Like, in my notes and in my Goodreads, in my Fable, I have this as a 4.75. So I wonder if in my Goodreads if it's a 5-star read, but because I'm able to do like a point system, like a decimal point in Fable, I don't know. I don't know what made me do 4.75. But I did absolutely love and adore this book. I mean, 4.75 is still a phenomenal rating, don't get me wrong. But if I didn't know that at one point I rated this 4.75 stars and you just were to blindly ask me what I would rate this book, I would say it's a 5-star read. Like, this is a great book. So yeah. If you don't know what this book is about, we are following our female main character, Adira. She is what they call a threadmender, and basically she can bring someone back from the brink of death by mending their threads. Essentially, that means that she is sewing up the parts of you that are causing you ailment. And there is a cost to this. For every person that she thread mends, you know, large ailments and small, she gives up a little bit of her own life. There are like hierarchies of families in the community that she lives, and one of the upper echelon families catches eye of her and invites her to move to his area of the kingdom to save his grandmother, who is infected with blight. Now, blight is basically an illness that rots you and it intakes your entire body. I kind of think as blight is kind of like cancer. But like really, really severe, intense cancer. And unfortunately, right before she is invited to come to this kingdom to heal one of our male main characters' grandmother, who's basically, I think they're fae, and they are basically like royalty. Think of them like that. Her brothers get infected with blight as well, and so the Fae King, we'll call him, Fae Prince, tells her, bring your brothers, I'll watch over your brothers, heal my grandmother. Once you figure out how to heal blight, then heal your brothers. And so the story kind of evolves from there. And it is a beautiful one, an enchanting one, a sinister one. And like I told my family member, the ending of this book is a jaw dropper. It is gasp worthy. It is so good. I can't believe I cannot think of a fathomable reason why I did not give this 5 stars. This is a 5-star read, you guys. I don't care what I said previously. This is a 5-star read. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If I have any books on my list, whether it's the favorites or the fails, that you either agree with me or you disagree with me, whatever the case may be, please sound off in the comments. Let me know your favorites and your fails so far of 2025. I want to know your favorite reads and your fails, so maybe I can be warned to stay away from them. But I really want to know what your favorites have been so far in 2025. Maybe they're on my TBR already. Maybe I should add them to my 2025 TBR. Who knows? But either way, I thank you so much for watching today. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already and you've made it this far into the video, go ahead and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And I will see you soon in the next one. Bye. Know what this is a book? If you don't know what this book, okay, wow.